Hi guys. That is not how I talk. Hi guys. Hi guys. Welcome back to the Wisdom Wave podcast. I'm your host Rebecca and I'm trying to get you on your frequency of focus. So today we are going to be talking about uni. Well, not just uni. We're going to basically be talking about all like sort of post 16 options for you and all the sort of paths that you can take once you're done with A levels or B Tech or T levels or whatever it is that you're doing. What happens after that, basically? So, basically, yeah. Why are we still going to uni in 2024? But I wasn't able to upload last week because one, it was half term and I was trying to smash out my revision, and two, I was horrendously sick. Like I couldn't function. Like, I'm here now. I'm here for you. It's very late in the day. It's extremely late in the day, and I should have been revising. But you're more important than that. Like you're more important to me. Like I love um, yeah. So I wanted to get this done and dusted for you, so you had new content for the week, so you could listen to my lovely voice all week. Because I know you miss me. um so basically, yeah, so let's jump straight into it. So earlier in the week we had an assembly at school about UCAS and sort of the timeline leading up to our applications and da 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 da. And while I was sitting there just deep in it, I was like, damn, like I actually have to go to uni next year, the year after. But technically, if it's 2024 now, next year, like next calendar year, I would be going to uni. But yeah, and it was just really stressful and really overwhelming to me because like the minute we got out of that assembly, when we were going to class afterwards, everyone was literally talking about what degrees they wanted to do, blah blah blah. Oh, I don't know if I have the grades for that. Oh, what uni do you want to go? Blah, 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 blah. We're actually in year 12. Granted, we're actually in year 12. We should be thinking about that anyway. But it was stressing me out hearing everyone talk about me myself. From like my perspective, I want to study psychology if I go to uni, but I'm also looking at sort of degree apprenticeships and those sort of options for after I leave sixth form. And it just got me thinking about how there's so many options for us after our A levels or whatever, and how overwhelming that can really be. So I just made sort of like pros and cons lists, trying to talk to you about what you think is best for you and what would suit you best, so that you are as prepared as you can be for like your next steps after your A levels. Yeah. So first segment is going to be on universities. Basically, what I've gathered. So one thing about me, yeah, I love a networking event. I love a little event where you can go and get everyone's LinkedIn's. I love going up to people and be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Can I have your LinkedIn?" I swear, asking for people's LinkedIn's is literally. I feel like a beggar. I feel like I'm asking for scraps when I ask. Can and you're showing like the barcode. You're, can I have your LinkedIn, please? But basically, at these events, one thing I've really learned is that your degree that you do when you are at university is not going to be directly related to whatever job you're going to do. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's obviously some professions where you need a degree to do that job. If you want to be a doctor, you have to study medicine. I don't want a doctor that studied architecture. You can't make buildings out of my organs. Do you know what I mean? Like, you understand the logic. But basically, um for the sector that I'm trying to get into, which is sort of like consulting and finance and project management, stuff like that, your degree does not equate to your job. And it's the same for like a lot of other corporate sectors sort of. Um and I think it's important to realize that, definitely, if you don't think, or if you're not sure what degree you want to do, to not overthink it as much as if you're trying to get into a profession where you need that particular degree to do that profession. Um, and yeah, so from what I've learned from meeting a lot of like sort of professionals is that most people, definitely, especially some of like the most senior people within like really big corporations, they will honestly have the most like sort of like zigzag career path ever. So I met this lady at the London Stock Exchange working event, and she was a big senior manager. And basically, she started off studying law in university. Then she done accounting in some other firms. I'd find it on her LinkedIn now, but she had so many different career paths and she worked in so many different industries before she ended up doing finance and sort of like asset management and those sorts of things, which I found really interesting. And there's also like, say if you want to work in like logistics or supply chain management, there's so many different qualifications you can do to get those sort of roles that you don't have to study like a particular like sort of businessy degree in uni. And say if you want to do something like law is literally the biggest lie that I ever heard was that you need to study law to do law. People get law degrees like get a credit. Okay, hands in the air. I don't know how people become lawyers. I gave up on law after I'd done like one virtual work experience on Springboard. But from what I've heard, you can basically do any degree, like a bachelor's degree in uni. Then after that, you kind of do a law conversion course. But if you do law in uni, it doesn't sort of like guarantee your place, like becoming a lawyer and going to law school after that, any more than sort of like a history degree or English degree would. So I think it's important to really research the fields that you're trying to get into, um, and really just understand if uni is really for you, if uni is useful for what you want to do. And pros of uni, obviously, you kind of have time to sort of explore the subjects that you want to get into, and you kind of just sort of delve deeper into that and get to like discover more about it, which is like a really big plus if that's what you're interested in and that's what you're passionate about, which is sort of what you should be if you're going to like dedicate 3 years of your life to it. And if you're going to dedicate like £30,000 of your money to study that degree, you know, um, you'll have more time to grow sort of as a person and kind of like have that transition into adulthood when you're at uni, because you'll be getting so much more independence. You'll be getting to experience where it's like living on your own if you are living in halls, but even if you're not, you'll kind of be exposed to a whole range of different new people who you just would not have met if you did not go to university. Basically, uni gives you the chance to grow in a way that sort of other paths don't. It gives you the freedom to dedicate yourself to your education while still kind of growing as a person and meeting new people and like living life and stuff. And yeah, um depending on what uni you go to, and I'll probably make a separate episode for this in the future, but depending on what uni you go to, you'll get like a very unique network at that university, because there'll be a lot of different types of people who have connections into certain industries and certain fields that you wouldn't have made in any sort of other setting other than like an education one. So I feel like that's really important, and uni is a good place to make those sorts of relationships and to build those. Um, and yeah. Also, when you're in uni, you'll have a way more sort of fun. You'll have the uni experience. When you go to uni, you have the option to have sort of that uni experience and to like be partying and seeing people, or just like you'll just have more of a social life than you would maybe in other pathways, because it's still sort of like school. You know what I mean? You'll still have a friend group and you'll have like sort of cliques and you'll be meeting so many different people in groups and everything. So it's just going to be a lot more social and more sort of interactive, I guess. So, cons of uni. The only con of uni that I could actually really find was debt. You're gonna be in a lot of debt. You're gonna be in. I don't get how money works. Really and truly, I should research this more before. But let me search it now. Let me Google it. So the average undergraduate student in the UK leaves university with a debt of £45,000. That's like, say like after taxes. Say if you're working just kind of like a basic job after uni, you're probably earning like 30k. And like, this is just me estimating. I don't know how tax works. Say if you get like after tax, you get like 20k, right? 20 something k. That's like 2 to 3 years of your wages just paying back the 2 to 3 years you spent at uni. Does that make sense? I don't do maths. Anyways, I'm sure you mathematicians can calculate for yourselves and you guys can put it in the comments. But basically, what I'm trying to say is you're going to be out of a lot of money. That's something to take into consideration. And that's really the only con I can think of, but it's still a worthwhile one to consider. So, the next option we're going to be talking about is degree apprenticeships. Basically, if you don't know what a degree apprenticeship is, a degree apprenticeship is when an employer sets up for you to carry out your degree while also working for them full time, part time. Basically, you'll spend time doing your course in uni as well as working at your employer, and your employer will fully pay for your degree for you. And yeah, I think that's a good explanation. I think that's kind of clear of how it works. Yeah. From what I've gathered and from all of my LinkedIn conversations, guys, get on LinkedIn. Add me on LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn in the bio, guys. Add me on LinkedIn, okay? Add me. Basically, degree apprenticeships, obvious plus, no debt. Obvious minus, not really having that social experience as much. But I feel like that's kind of offset by the fact that when you're doing a degree apprenticeship, it won't just be you as a singular apprentice. It'll be kind of like a cohort of people. So it'll probably be you and like 10 other apprentices, like for example. So it's not like you're kind of there on your ones, chilling around the office with a bunch of oldies. Do you know what I mean? Guys, please don't judge my voice cracks in the video because I'm actually still sick. I've been sick for like 3 weeks. So don't mind how dodgy my voice sounds. I think one of the best benefits from a degree apprenticeship is I can't stop focusing on my voice now. You basically have the opportunity to network with a bunch of like more senior professionals in a company that you probably just won't get into contact with when you're on spring weeks and summer internships like you would as like a university student. So I think that's really important because it's a much more valuable network that you'll build as a degree apprentice. So that afterwards, when you've completed your apprenticeship and you're looking for work, you already have those contacts within the company. Basically, when you do a degree apprenticeship, they are investing into you. They're not just giving you free money. They're sort of like expecting you to get a job with them afterwards. Basically, there's a very, very high likelihood that you will get a job there once your degree apprenticeship is over. So that's also a plus, like basically straight employment after you've finished your program, I guess. And yeah, biggest plus about a degree apprenticeship, you're obviously getting like a monthly salary. Like they pay for your degree, but they're paying you. You're gonna be you're gonna be making like big boy money. Like you're gonna be a big spender. Like, I mean, actually, I don't know. It probably depends on the company, but you're gonna be making some money. So you're gonna be getting wages plus work experience plus networking plus a thing that I've kind of like noticed from like the recruiters that I've talked to, like the HR people. like degree apprentices. Oh, guys, I can't talk. Degree apprentices will have way better sort of industry knowledge than graduate students, and sort of they'll be a lot more clued up on like what office etiquette is and like how to act within a working environment than graduates would. But there's kind of like mixed opinions and mixed views on like who employers prefer more, like a graduate or a degree apprentice, because obviously a degree apprentice will have sort of that experience within an office, but a graduate might have some more technical skills. They might have like, I mean, it sort of depends on the role, I guess, but like, say if it was like sort of like computer science or something, like a graduate with a computer science degree will know like very like technical stuff about computers or whatever. But a degree apprentice will know how to sort of apply that knowledge. I guess there's debates around it, and you can go and like sort of talk to any recruitment um employees and ask them what they think is more beneficial. But I feel like both have their pros and cons, sort of employers. So it really doesn't really matter that much. Um, I'd say probably the most disadvantage. It's not proper English, is it? It's just not proper English. I'd say the most disadvantageous aspect. What a word! Disadvantageous. I'd say like probably like the worst aspect about doing a degree apprenticeship is that you won't get that sort of like uni life and feel and whatever, and you won't be out going clubbing after your lectures, and you won't have all of that sort of stuff if you're into that stuff, I guess. Um, like you'll literally be doing a 9 to 5 job straight after year 13, effectively. Um, which might be alright for some people, but if that's not for you, then maybe that's just not suitable for you. Like maybe that's just not what is best for you at that time, if you know what I mean. Most of them have quite lenient sort of grade requirements. Like they're really not testing that you can get good test scores. They're kind of testing your own soft skills, like your communication skills, your teamwork skills, if you're able to work within an environment where you have to collaborate with other people, and like how to organize yourself. And I feel like that's just a good way of assessing someone's capability within a workplace than just going off of you got 3A stars, so you're getting a job. You know what I mean? But yeah, because effectively they're hiring you to work, they're not hiring you to study like university is. And yeah, it's not an easy route. You're going to have to be like juggling study with also like your projects at work and trying to manage that all together at the same time. So it's a lot more stressful and like intensive than other sort of pathways, I guess. And yeah. But in my opinion, I feel like degree apprenticeships is like very good for someone, like anyone really who's just kind of sick of being in a classroom and like just wants to get out and be working, be earning money, be getting some, not getting some, no, that's no, not getting some, just getting some money. um what was I saying? um and I think a very important thing to sort of be aware of and to look at when you're applying for degree apprenticeships is the partner, like the university partner that's going to be like um giving you your degree, like at the end of the 3 years or 4 years or whatever, like to research into that uni to see if like the course details are sort of something that you're interested in, because that's what you're going to be studying as well as working for your employer. So that's really important. And also for universities, look at the course content of the course you're applying to at that university specifically, because they are going to be so different ranging from like university to university. Because say like I know say, okay, so I was looking at geography. Please don't laugh at me because I was thinking about doing geography. Geography is actually really fun, and don't make fun of me because it's actually not just rocks. It's actually very interesting. So whatever. I was looking at geography degrees at Cambridge, and when I looked at the course content, I realized like a lot of it was like physical geography, which I wasn't interested in. But when you go to LSE's course details for geography, it was a lot more sort of human based and like globalization and all of that, which I was more interested in. But I think it's really important that you look at the course details at the uni that you're applying to make sure it's covering the aspects of your subject that you're interested in, or at least like it's broadly what you're interested in. And yeah, do. Can you guys hear that I'm sick? Like, is my voice that? Is it bad? Is it like? Or is it kind of like like is it? Yeah. I should stop moving the mic so much. I feel really sorry for like our audio. Yeah, that's the word. Like our audio listeners, because I feel like I bumped the mic quite a lot. I'll try and fix that. Yeah. Last sort of option that we are going to discuss today is gap years. Basically, that's what it sounds like. It's just a year where you're just taking a bit of a gap. You're taking a bit of a taking a bit of a breath, taking a bit of a breather from everything. Like you just had A levels for 2 years, just had secondary school for that. Just want to chill, just want to breathe. The thing about gap years is that they provide you with way more freedom than like the other two options that we were talking about before. With a gap year, it's really what you make of it. So if you leave your gap year and you're just staying at home sleeping, doing nothing all day, and you're confused why you haven't achieved anything really, and you haven't found out anything more about what you want to do, that's really on you. But if you kind of utilize your gap year effectively, and you go out and apply for, there's so many schemes and like programs for gap year students that I didn't even realize were there. Actually, quick story time. Last week, or maybe it was the week before that, it was recently, I applied to this scheme and I thought it said year 12, but it said year 12-month pro. I can't read basically, which is really poor for me as an English student. But basically I applied to this program that was for gap year students. It took me forever to do the application as well. There was like a 2,000 word essay sort of application thing that I had to fill out to apply for it. And I got all the way to the assessment center stage until I realized my horrible error and that I couldn't actually do this program. But yeah, that was just a quick story time. Lots of wasted time. Took me hours. I still I st- I stayed up till 12 a.m. filling out the application for a placement that I wasn't even eligible for. But yeah. um Basically, yeah, there's so many programs for gap year students. So I think as long as you try and find like um sort of opportunities within the industries you're interested in, you can use your gap year effectively to sort of find out what you want and sort of like learn more about yourself and what you want to do with your life after your gap year. So yeah, I think that's sort of the best option if you don't want to sort of like. Sorry, I'm doing like a really weird movement right now. I have to sort of do movements to sort of think. It's a good option if it's a really good option if you sort of don't want to like tie yourself down to one sort of subject or area or career path for your future. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's it. And I just really thought it was important to make this episode because I feel like at this point in time, everyone's sort of like really deep in what they're trying to do with their lives after A levels. So I thought it was kind of like a relevant episode to have. Maybe it was just kind of like for me to sort of like clear my mind. Well, hopefully I put your minds at ease. Maybe you're a bit more informed about what you want to do. And basically, I sort of just went onto LinkedIn and asked people who are in university what they liked about it, and people who are on degree apprenticeships what they liked about it, and kind of just try to like implement that into the episode. So hopefully you got that, like that information was useful to you. And it's just so important to sort of like figure out what you want to do now. Not what you want to do exactly, but have a plan. If you don't have a plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I just came up with that right now. Thank you for watching today's episode of the Wisdom Wave podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it put your mind at ease. And yeah, you can really hear how bad my voice is now. It's really like cracking and everything. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Um, add us on Spotify. Watch us on YouTube. Add us on Instagram. Add us everywhere. And yeah, I'll see you next time.